Welcome to the Make It Make Sense podcast. It's your boy One Swayze.
It's your boy QB.
And we're here to make it make sense today for y'all, man. We got a great show coming. And we're talking about bookkeeping today. So please stay tuned. We want y'all to lock in and watch this.
For sure. So we got Miss Valerie with us today, our special guest from North Point. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, ma'am?
Yeah, of course. My name is Valerie Simmons. I am owner and operator of North Point Tax and Taxes. We are a virtual tax preparation company as well as bookkeeping, and we specialize in individuals as well as small business entities to get them on the right track for taxes and keeping them, in order and in line.
That's right.
That's what we need.
And why do you feel like taxes is so important in bookkeeping, man?
Man, it's really big when building a business and starting small and seeing what you can do in the future, because you have to weigh your expenses, your cash outs, what you're investing into the company, your debts, your credits, things that, it's like a balance sheet, and you have to know how to balance it in order to start with a successful business and also thrive and finish with a successful business.
For sure.
I definitely feel like it's a great topic.
And also, we don't want the IRS coming after us, right?
Yeah. Don't want all them money.
That's big, and just trying to keep yourself, in line, just like you said. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you see yourself with this topic, bookkeeping and taxes?
I'm gonna say a strong 8. It's about, as we know, things are changing, and the environment and atmosphere that we're in is constantly changing. So you can't know everything, and if you think you know everything, that's probably your first problem right there. So I'm always learning, growing, evolving. So I'm gonna say an 8, and I always can have room for improvement.
Well, that's a lot stronger than a lot of our previous. But even when they, take themselves to that lower number, they end up being on that higher top number. So we definitely gonna see. We got a few bills we need to pay. So right after this, we'll get back into it. Once again, thank you, Valerie, for being here with us.
Attention content creators, do you have a great podcast, short film series, and need a home to show it to millions of households, plus countless smartphone users? Streets TV is hip-hop for the world. Contact us at streetstvworldwide@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram at StreetsTVWorld. It's Streets TV, hip-hop for the world.
So welcome back to the Make It Make Sense podcast. We have our special guest, Valerie Simmons, with us, and we're going to play a game. We're going to start off with a game. Right? Just to break the ice a little bit, right?
See where your
mind at. All right, so coming soon here is your first question.
I am a small business that hired an independent contractor to work for me. I must fill out this document and send it to the contractor before February.
You must fill out this. And I see you have W-9 and you have 1099 form. So the W-9 is what you're going to have them to fill out first and foremost.
Okay.
And then, so I'm going to go with B. You're going to need that B. And the 1099 form, that's what they're going to receive from you at the end of the year. So can I do 2? Can I? They're kind of married. Like the W-9 is like your insurance policy to the IRS. Like, hey, this person did work for me. Okay. And your 1099 is going to be like the actual amounts that was paid, that you paid that independent contractor.
Okay. So with that being said, what do you think your final answer should be?
I knew that was going to go. We're going to go with D, 1099.
Ooh. Miss Valerie, you are correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Good info.
A great way to dive deep into that too. So
we saw your thought process.
Yeah.
Explained and kind of broke it down.
So all right. My company's gross income is $200,000, and we donated $5,000 to an at-risk children baseball camp. I am able to claim a blank for the $5,000.
Deduction. That would be a charitable contribution, or can be considered a deduction. So C. And Charlie.
Definitely the correct answer, and that is the reason why you can claim that, because it's a charitable donation. Okay. So correct. Yes, ma'am.
Good job. This is used to give information for a specific individual's name, address, taxpayer ID number, and typically used to create 1099 forms with this information.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So this is what I was talking about earlier.
Right.
There you go.
This is actually going to be B, W-9.
That's definitely correct. The
Mhm.
W-9 is, the information given to create that 1099, as you stated earlier. So yeah,
Mhm. See, I was right.
you were.
Definitely. This is used by employers to show the IRS the year prior salary of an employee and to note their tax paying obligations. What is it?
And by employers, automatically, I know that's going to be a W-2 form. A as in apple. So, yeah, sorry. W-2 form is what they receive at the end of the year. At the beginning of the year, you fill out what they call a W-4. So it's kind of the same as the W-9 for independent contractors. But
Gotcha.
answer is A, W-2.
Look at it. Look
That's
at it.
the final answer.
Yes, I'm sorry. That was the final answer.
All right.
Wait, blank.
You're right. You are correct, man.
Yeah.
She's like, I know this.
Yeah, basically.
You made it seem like I was like, wait, is that right? I feel so confident though.
No, that's absolutely correct. That's
Okay.
absolutely correct. That's and it's great to see your thought process with these questions and answers.
Okay.
What we got next for a professional that is qualified to calculate, file, and sign income tax returns on behalf of individuals and businesses?
That would be a tax preparer, a professional tax preparer, because anybody can file taxes, but you want to make sure that a person is accredited because they have their P10 number, a PTIN. And that lets you know that this person is accredited with not accredited, but registered with the IRS to file taxes legally and professionally. So final answer, E as in egg, tax preparer.
Good job. Good job. E as in egg. And she has made 100 so far.
Our first 100.
So having a record of money spent and money received that will be able to help your tax preparer and also assist with predicting your company's future finances. What is this called?
This is called bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is a record of everything, all your transactions. Same thing you just said, all of your transactions to let you know, like, oh, I spent way too much in this area, or I'm not spending enough in that area. Or these things give you basically a bill of health for your business.
For sure.
Yep.
It builds that blueprint that you need.
Exactly. A great way to put that. It's kind of almost like the heart of the company as well.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Tells you everything that's happening with your company. Mm-hmm.
For sure. So, 100, like I said, so far, she's doing wonderful. That 8 is looking like a strong 10 right now.
Exactly.
So, we do want to appreciate you for, walking us through those processes and your thought process. I mean, it was magnificent to see how you actually articulated that, those answers, right? And so, but we do have some bills to pay, right? So we'll be right back after these.
Let's get closer, closer. Let's get closer, closer. Let's get closer, closer to you.
Welcome back to the Make It Make Sense podcast. And we're about to dive into the first topic, which is bookkeeping. So with bookkeeping, this is basically recording, storing, and retrieving of any financial information, any receipts, any payments, expenses that you put out over the time. Mm-hmm. And with bookkeeping, as we stated, this is kind of the heart. This is the soul of your business. You want to make sure everything is in line. You want to be organized when you're saving these things. The easiest way that I've done and used in the past would be an Excel sheet to kind of get things started out. And you can list investments, expenses, your supplies, your merchandise, whatever it may be that you're providing that service, that product to the world in order to maintain that balance and that information. So when you do go back, fill out your taxes, you have everything documented and in line. You can date it and do whatever it is you need to do in order to have that information saved for your records going into that next year.
You have anything to add with that, Miss Valerie?
Yeah, I think you were head on with that. Being that concise with where your money is coming and going is really going to be, the backbone of any business. It also helps play a big part in tax planning. So when you have accurate numbers every month of what's happening, you can kind of use the IRS tax code to work for your advantage. But you don't have a way of doing that if you don't have records of what's happening with your money. So you're very smart and very advanced, because a lot of companies, I think that's where their downfall is. They say, I don't know what percentage of businesses don't make it. And a lot of times it's because they don't have no records of how anything is really coming or going. So yeah, with tax planning, to let you know what's able to be, you give it to your tax preparer. Your tax preparer can tell you, oh, this is deductible. You might not even know you have certain deductions
Right.
that work out for you, but you have that profit and loss or that Excel sheet. And you give it to your tax preparer, and they're like, oh, when you did this, that was deductible. When you did this, that's deductible. So absolutely right. It'll let you win the tax game in a sense, or it helps you reduce tax liability by keeping great records and keep the IRS off of you, because they can audit for any reason. They can audit because something's wrong, or they just audit because they feel like it's Tuesday, let me audit. And when you have when you have all of that together, you're like, oh yeah, come audit me. Boom, there you go. Simple. And it takes the fear out of it.
Oh, that actually takes us into the next thing that we're talking about is deductions.
Definitely.
Right? So, when you talk about deductions, you have expenses that can be subtracted from a taxpayer's gross income in order to reduce the amount of income that is subject to taxation. So one of the examples that we talk about, you earn about $50,000 a year, right? And then you give a charitable donation. Right. And so that charitable donation could be anywhere between $2,000 or $3,000 or whatever. And that charitable donation gets deducted from that income or gross that you made that year. Right. And a lot of people, don't know that.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things that's kind of like almost kind of like insurance. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, we pay this every month, but we're not really sure what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that you really have to know. And also, as we have Valerie, a professional that knows these type of things and that can spot those things out. And that, like we said, that feeds back and piggybacks off the bookkeeping.
For sure.
Yeah.
Good. Great bookkeeping for, that deduction.
Yep.
Right.
That, businesses have to, report all of their gross income in order to get these deductions, or to be able to show that you have deductions to be made. So, I mean, and a resource that we use is Investopedia or whatever. But yeah, man, just having these discussions about the deductions, I think it's gonna help people with their business a little bit more. As well as having a tax preparer, right?
Definitely.
So I think people need to seek that type of counsel as well.
I agree. So, which also, any information, Valerie, you want to piggyback off that?
In regards to deductions, that exactly right. It goes against whatever your taxable income gross is. So a lot of people may fall in a certain type of tax bracket if they just look at their full gross income. Right. And if you fall into a higher tax bracket, the IRS can be like, oh, well, we're going to charge you way more money on this income that you made. Just based off of that. Those deductions, especially if you're in a business, right? This is mostly for business. Individuals don't get the same type of benefits. But for businesses, you want to tell the IRS, like, I gave $5,000 to a charity. I got health insurance. I bought a car. All kind of different things will help you receive a deduction so that you don't have to pay so much money to the government. You're able to keep your money in your business and benefit your business and benefit yourself. And that's what helps you and your business to grow and to thrive. Not having to give so much money to the IRS.
For sure.
There you go. Yeah, it's coming back into you.
Yeah. And that brings us to, talking about more about the form that people have to fill out, right?
In order to make sure that you are in line for these type of rewards.
Right. So, a W-9 is that information that you have to give. It confirms a person's name, address, and taxpayer identification number for employment or other income generating purposes. A W-2, it gives that yearly gross of what the business that you work for has annually gave you throughout that year, right? So those two, a W-9 and a W-2, very very much forms that you really need to pay attention to when starting a business and while you're working for someone, because that W-2 it shows you that obligation that you have to the IRS, right? And so in that W-9, say for instance, you are a subcontractor, independent contractor, and you have to, have that information on hand because you have to have a 1099 filled out by the person that, that's hiring you to do that independent work.
Wow.
And when you're doing the independent work, that 1099, that's what, show that you were actually there and legally doing work.
Buying contracts to continue that business that produce that product or service.
That's right.
Okay, got it. That definitely sounds like something that would be needed when you're getting to that level of hiring people to come in and build and knock down things as far as, molding that business.
Okay. And freelance. Right.
Okay, cool. Makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Any
that's it.
That, Valerie?
Yeah, exactly right. And for people who let's not leave out any like gig workers. They call them gig economy. These are people who are like drive Lyft or drive DoorDash and stuff like that. You're gonna receive this information, the 1099 information from DoorDash or whoever the headquarter is. But like you were saying before, that W-9 is for the independent contractor. You don't work for anybody specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And then the W-4, the W-2 you will receive from your actual employer. And you keep those information. You're supposed to keep them for up to about 3 to 5 years. Actually, a lot of people don't know that. But that's when it comes switching back to the W-9. That's what that bookkeeping is important to. Your bookkeeper or your tax professional, they'll keep records of these W-9s for you. You might have a company and you have 3 people work for you doing different things. Well, then you need to issue this out and you'll have that in your bookkeeping software or just in your bookkeeping files that you can readily access when needed.
There you go. And glad that you went into the tax professional because that's actually the next slide here. We talk about tax preparer, as she explained, a tax professional. Once again, their job is basically to complete the annual tax return for another. Also, this person takes their client's financial information and provides tax advice. Mm-hmm. A lot of people seeing, you can go into H&R Block. You can go into Turbo. You can do TurboTax software to also, do it yourself if that's, something you want to do. Mm-hmm. They have services at Jackson Hewitt that also assist and mandate these financial services for you as well. Right. And we'll conduct them, at a small fee and things of that sort. Right. And it also, you can see how you want that deducted, that fee. It can be from taxes or you can pay it however it wants to go.
But having those people that's physically like Valerie, right? That be able to give you that advice, those gems that you need to kind of like see what you want to need that's needed to be deducted from your business, or some things that you just don't know as being maybe a new business owner for sure. So having that tax professional at your leisure to do what you ultimately can't do yourself and you might need that knowledge from somebody else, because otherwise, the IRS come knocking, you get audited, and then now it's a whole different case.
Oh yeah.
So
it's big because, like you stated, having someone there to also provide you that information. It takes a lot of time, a lot of stress off your shoulders. You may have things going on, and like we know, the world is changing quickly. Things are moving faster. So just to have that person or a tax professional to kind of guide you through these things, show you where you are, needing to improve, and give you that advice for either personal or your business. That sort. So those are some of the benefits and tips when looking for a tax preparer. And as Valerie stated earlier, you want to make sure you're getting someone that is licensed to do and run your taxes. So.
For sure. And so next we go to the 1099 forms that we did earlier.
Yeah.
And 1099 is, the 1099 is basically just the money that you receive. It's showing that the money that you receive from another place other than your regular form of income.
That's right.
Say, for instance, you got some stocks in Robinhood. You fill out a 1099, or they'll fill out a 1099, and you receive that 1099 from Robinhood. Yeah. You do, like she said, you work for Lyft, 1099s for Lyft, Grubhub, just any type of freelance gig type notion that's not like your regular job or regular salary from an employer, right? Right. And so you just gotta have that documented, just so that it's legal money. It's showing that you are on the books and you're doing, things the right way. Exactly. Anything you like to share on that 1099?
Yeah. So something that we want to look out for is when you get a 1099, usually whoever is giving you that, they're not taking out taxes. Wow. They're not taking out taxes. That's what when you're an independent contractor, essentially, you are a business. A sole proprietor. So that means that becomes your responsibility to take care of those taxes paid. Okay. When you receive a W-2 and you didn't file exempt, then usually your employer will take those taxes out for you. You have like the Social Security, Medicare, federal, Georgia, or whatever state you're in, will take those taxes out. Your employer will do that sometimes on the W-2. On your 1099, not so much. So you either need to keep track of your expenses so that your tax liability will be smaller, because even if you work for Lyft, you still are an independent contractor. You still are a business for yourself. Right. So you would need to pay attention to miles and gas and that type of thing. But just know that a 1099, usually they don't take out taxes on you. So that's, sometimes people get a tax bill and they're like, where this came from? That's where there were no taxes taken out, usually.
Big time news. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Well, we appreciate that information. She dropping some gems on us, and
definitely.
And I think that this is some very useful information that she has given, and she's clarified for new business owners and business owners that may just didn't know.
Yeah, and also, if you just want your personal taxes, completed as well. Right. So
that's right.
Definitely something to attract to and want to learn and
for sure
grow from as well.
So we got to pay some bills of our own. So we'll be back after these messages.
I want the IRS to come get us.
So welcome back to the MakeIt MakeCents podcast, and we have a very special guest, Valerie Simmons from North Point Tax Services. She's been doing a great job so far, and we do want to allow and tell our audience, remember, we are not your financial advisors. The information here is presented from our perspective, and every situation is different when starting a business. It's always important to consult a professional, okay? So just want to make sure that you guys don't take everything as law, but take heed and go do your own research, please.
Absolutely.
And great that you went over that as well. So, as you know, we went over a few things today. We went over a few forms: the W-2, W-9, 1099.
For sure.
We discussed bookkeeping, deductions, and a taxpayer. So we kind of want to go back in, revisit. We have some scenarios that we want to share with you, Valerie. You did 10 for 10 on the first and got 100% on the first. So we got a few more questions to give you and see where we at.
See what you got. Okay, so this includes the recording, storing, and retrieving of financial transactions for a business.
Recording, storing. That's going to be e-bookkeeping.
E-bookkeeping.
Yeah.
You got it.
All right, that's one. An expense that can be subtracted from a taxpayer's gross income in order to reduce the amount of income that is subject to taxation.
That is C, deductions.
Yeah,
All right.
deductions.
That's 2 for 2.
The document an employer is required to send to each employee and to Internal Revenue Service at the end of the year.
Employer means W-2, A.
Look at you. She is a context clue.
You gotta know those words. Sometimes you gotta know those words that give you that answer.
That's right. The tax form that is used to confirm a person's name, address, and taxpayer identification number for employment or other income generating purposes.
That'll be a W-9, B.
You are correct. She is correct. That's what, 3 for 3, 4 for 4?
4 for 4, I believe.
4 for 4. A person or company employed to complete the annual tax return for another. Also, this person takes their client's financial information and provides future tax advice.
Tax advice is going to be a tax preparer, E.
All right. 5 for 5.
Pretty good.
Yeah, she is pretty good.
A form that documents the different type of income a person received throughout the year outside of their regular salary.
Outside of their regular salary, that's going to be a D, 1099, and that's going to be anything over $600 is why you receive a 1099.
Must be
Document.
That's
Must
right.
be on the tax documents. Yes, they will come knocking.
Yeah, they will.
So once again, Valerie, before we get out of here, plug yourself, let them know who you are, let them know what you're representing, and how they can get in contact with you.
Yes, absolutely. So once again, I'm Valerie Simmons, owner and operator of North Point Tax and Services. We are a virtual company. You can get visit our website at nptaxservices.com. You can find us on Facebook. The link is there, or the tag is there, NP Tax Services LLC. On Instagram is North Point Tax and Services LLC, all long. Don't ask me why, but that's how it is. LinkedIn, we're on there as well. We give out tax tips all the time. I like to be virtual because one, we're in Corona season, and then two, it's just easier. We have an app that you can download. You can it's secured and unable to get broken into, but you can take pictures of those documents that I need, upload that. It'll give you a code, and then I'll be able to access your information in my tax software and my computer. So, just even if you just want to ask some questions, feel free to call me at 404-210-0236. You can DM me. My email is valerie@nptaxservices.com. Whatever you need, I'm here for you.
We have all that information below, so we can get to you. And definitely, once again, thanks for checking in with us. This is the Make It Make Sense podcast, and
hopefully we made it make sense for the people out there watching. I think she gave us some great feedback today, some great knowledge. She made it make sense for me, and she went 10 for 10. Well, I like 12 for 12. Great job today. Thanks for being our guest today, man. Big shout out to you. And we wish you the best on this tax season. So that's it from the Make It Make Sense podcast. I'm QB.
It's one Swayze. And don't forget, if you need your taxes done, get that Valerie. She the best.
Bye.